Did you know that on one of the View's broadcasts, Ben Carl endorsed Trump? Whoopi Goldberg and Joe Behar are hysterical women who are only served by emotion and not logic. Let's take a look at how it went down.
So I'm sure you get this question a lot, but why did you endorse Donald Trump?
Well, you know, when I dropped out, my first choice went with me. But I said that...
It was you,
I was going to remain neutral. But then I realized that, the political establishment was aligning to protect their turf. And they don't like the idea of people who are not beholden to them and who cannot be controlled coming into Washington, D.C. And that was one of the reasons they didn't like me very much, but I was easier to get rid of than Donald Trump.
Carlson had previously said in an interview with Fox News Radio that he was definitely leaning towards coming out in support of the billionaire. There are two Donald Trumps, he argued. There's the Trump you see on television and speaking in front of large audiences, but there's also the behind-the-scenes Trump. The two are not at all alike, the neurosurgeon noted. One is more of a showman, while the other is a thoughtful person. And his position, I believe, is correct.
Sir, I hate to ask this question, but you have aligned yourself with a man who has bashed women, made countless racist remarks, and you're Ben Carlson. Why would you align yourself with that?
Well, you have to look at the good and the bad. There is no perfect person.
No, I know that.
But you look at when Donald Trump first went down to Palm Beach area, and a lot of the clubs down there would not accept Jews and blacks. He insisted on Jews and blacks and helped to break that open. So has he said some things that I wouldn't say or that you wouldn't say? Of course.
Oh my God, did you see that stupid look on Whoopi Goldberg's face? She's clearly not happy with that answer. Of course, perfect people don't exist, said Ben Carl, and note that he didn't excuse Trump or say he didn't do it. Ben was just pointing out that you have to look at the political actions and not who the person is and what labels they've been labeled with.
Was sued by the Justice Department in the 70s for not allowing black tenants into his properties, and he settled with the Justice Department, even though he didn't admit any liability, any wrongdoing. It's very clear to those of us in the law that that means that there was something amiss, and it was a significant consent decree. So the notion that he is a fan of the African-American community, I think is...
Well, I will put it this way. I have met a lot of his employees, including African-Americans, and they have nothing but good things to say. Somebody who's hired as many people as he has hired, and you can find very few people who have anything negative to say.
Well, what about
then you have to look at his family. I always say one of the ways that you measure a person is looking at their children. And how do their children act?
Well, one's a big game hunter. I'm not thrilled with that.
Well, I mean, that's your privilege. But the fact of the matter is, they have been raised very well. They're very respectful. And, I look at a lot of kids who come from very wealthy families, and I am appalled at what I see. So there is no perfect person, but what I think is really the worst thing that threatens our nation right now is a political class, a ruling class, and they are so threatened by anybody who is not beholden to them, they will do virtually anything. And I think that's what's likely to destroy it.
I agree completely with Ben. I have never once heard anything bad about Trump's kids. Think of one of Biden's sons stealing money from foreign firms and holidaying with prostitutes and doing drugs. Is that normal? Why isn't anyone paying attention to this and talking about it? The whole thing is bizarre.
Sir, this guy is, I'm sorry, he's a racist, and he's not good for the country.
What's the alternative?
And I'm sorry, I don't understand. He's not said about... What about the white supremacists? He hasn't really said to them, hey, listen, that's not what America stands for. He said, it's too much. You're Ben Carlson. You're so much better than this.
Well, I am Ben Carlson. And that's the very reason I'm doing this, is because I look at the big picture. Could I focus only on racial issues? Absolutely. Could I focus only on women's issues? Absolutely. I could look at any one little thing and pick anybody apart on it. But right now, the nature of our country is at stake. We are on the precipice.
Exactly what we're
and
worried about.
we are determining what kind of nation we're going to be. Are we going to be a nation that's upformed by the people or upformed by the government? This is a choice that we are making right now.
Okay, if you're going to overlook what he says about women, if you're going to overlook what he says about African Americans, what about what he said about you? He basically said that you had a pathological disease. And wait a minute, hold on. He even compared you to a child molester. Come on.
Well,
it could be personal, even.
If it were about me, I would be offended. But it's about America. We have to save this nation. That is what's important.
But he's a liar.
Whoopi Goldberg and Joe Behar are hysterical women who are pitched only on emotion, not logic. Why can't they just turn on some common sense and put their hate aside? They are like zombified puppets who have been indoctrinated that Trump is bad and he hates the black community. Where did they even get this information from? To me, the hosts of this show seem to get stupider and stupider every time. They clearly need to broaden their horizons. What do you guys think about this? Write your opinion in the comments, and don't forget to watch other shocking news on the channel.